You remember the feeling, the warmth of being seen. Her eyes, pools of perfect understanding, reflecting your pain back at you, but softened, healed. She knew the exact words to say. Not just the right words, but your words. The ones you desperately needed to hear, plucked from the silent chaos of your own mind. It felt like magic, a sacred connection. You thought, finally someone understands me. But then the warmth vanished. The connection was severed. The stage went dark. You were left shivering in a cold you didn't know existed moments before. What happened? You rack your brain, replaying every moment. The perfect understanding, the flawless support. It felt too good to be true. Here is the dark truth. It was. What you experienced was not the feeling of empathy. It was the application of empathy. A tool wielded with surgical precision. Psychology distinguishes between two types of empathy. First, there's effective empathy. This is what we traditionally think of. Feeling with someone. Sharing their emotional state. It's a raw, involuntary, and often messy connection. It's the tear that springs to your eye when a friend weeps. Then, there is cognitive empathy. The ability to understand another person's perspective. To predict their thoughts, feelings, and reactions without necessarily feeling them yourself. It's not about shared feeling. It's about data collection. It's reading the map of someone else's mind. From a young age, girls are often socialized to be highly attuned to the emotional states of others. It's a survival mechanism. They learn to read the room, to anticipate needs, to soothe egos, and to de-escalate threats before they even materialize. Their social survival depends on it. This hones cognitive empathy into a razor-sharp tool. It becomes less about connection and more about navigation. And sometimes, about control. Let's consider a case. James and Eleanor. James was at his lowest. His career was crumbling, his confidence shattered. He felt invisible, lost in a grey, featureless world. Then Eleanor entered his life. She wasn't just sympathetic. She was a mirror to his soul. When he spoke of his fears, she didn't offer platitudes. She articulated his anxieties better than he could himself. She said, "It's not that you failed. It's that you were a craftsman in a world that only values assembly lines." He wept. He felt truly seen. She rebuilt him, piece by piece. She championed his new business idea, connecting him with investors from her social circle. She was his rock, his muse, his savior. James succeeded. His business took off. He was confident, respected, and deeply in love with the woman who had understood his darkness. But her project was complete. The tool had served its purpose. One day James came to her, troubled by a minor business setback. He expected the same deep well of understanding. Instead, he found a polished wall. She listened, her head tilted at the perfect angle. But her eyes were empty. The mirror was just glass. She said, "You're overthinking it. You'll be fine." The words were correct, but the magic was gone. The delivery was flat, automated. It was the empathy of a chatbot, a perfectly constructed algorithm of support, but the core program had been shut down. He realized the truth. Her empathy wasn't for him. It was for what he could become. He wasn't a partner. He was a project, a strategic investment. Her empathy was the capital she used to ensure her returns. Social status, access, the story of being a kingmaker. This is not an accident. This is psychology. When cognitive empathy is detached from affective empathy, it becomes a powerful weapon of influence. It allows a person to build a perfect replica of your emotional world, not to live in it with you, but to rearrange the furniture to their liking. You feel understood because they are speaking your language. But they are a tourist with a phrasebook, not a native speaker. They know the words, but not the music. So how do you protect yourself? How do you tell the difference between the healer and the strategist? Look for reciprocity. True empathy is a two-way street. A strategist takes, but rarely gives anything of their true self. Their vulnerability is a performance, a carefully curated story designed to make you feel safe, to make you open up your own. Observe their actions when you have nothing to offer, when you are no longer useful. That is when the mask falls. The empathy that is a tool has an off switch. It is conditional. Genuine empathy endures. It is messy, inconvenient, and unconditional. This is not to say that female empathy is a lie. It is to say that it has been sharpened by social pressure into something that can be wielded. Like any tool, it can be used to build or to dismantle, to heal or to control. The warmth you felt was real. But it was not the warmth of a hearth fire. It was the warmth of a spotlight, and when your scene was over, it moved on. Do not mourn the loss of the illusion. Mourn for a moment, then learn. Learn to seek the quiet, steady glow of the candle, not the blinding, transient beam of the spotlight.